Hi, my name is Steve Lukens. I'm the Director of Operations at CASE, and today I'm going to be presenting for you on how to create an effective schedule and kind of focus on how much time do you need and where to use that time. So hopefully you get some good benefits out of this, and we can definitely talk more through an academic coaching meeting or something like that if anyone wants to develop more strategies or work on any more scheduling habits. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about is, when do you work best? So many people don't focus on when they naturally feel the most productive, and kind of try to just cram everything in when they think they would be most productive. So there are some questions that I have surrounding when you work best, whether it's the morning, the afternoon, or the evening. So first thing, when you think about the morning, do you wake up ready to go? Do you jump out of bed and you're full of energy? Are you more confident in the morning? Do you naturally feel ready to do things? And this isn't necessarily even about when you're thinking about your class schedule, but just your planning and scheduling everything in general. So if you wake up on a Saturday in the middle of summer, no classes, nothing else to do you feel ready to go in the morning, or is it a time where you feel, oh, I'm just going to stay in bed? This is where I like to be in the morning. Because a lot of that plays into what will work best for you when you're creating a schedule, whether that's for your classes or for your day-to-day, and just working through some of that. Are you better suited to work on things in the afternoon? Do you feel more settled as the day goes and more relaxed and able to focus as the day goes on? Are you an evening? Do you like to be a night owl? Do you stay awake late at night? Do you naturally feel more comfortable at night? Do you do more at the end of the day than the rest of it combined? Is it something that you pull into the evening and kind of get everything done in a few hours there, whereas if you try to focus on it during the day, it doesn't happen? And sometimes that can be part of playing into whether you struggle with procrastination as well, because if you're pushing everything to the end of the day, if you're more tired at the end of the day, that is a sign of procrastination. If you are more energized and comfortable at the end of the day, that just might mean that you feel more comfortable at the end of the a given day, and that you work best at that time of day. So what should you prioritize when you're thinking about what time of day works best for you? So the first thing that I would like to look at are some basic things, sleep, food, me time, productivity, stress relievers. All of these areas are things that you should look at and prioritize when you are thinking about creating a schedule. When do you sleep? What hours do you sleep at night? How often do you hold to the same sleep schedule? Sleep is one of the most important things when thinking about creating a schedule. If you pick a class schedule or create a schedule for studying and different things like that your sleep habits are varied throughout the week and they never are consistent. It changes every single day. No day is the same back to back. Then that's very hard on your body to get adjusted to and to become kind of in a rhythm and kind of work through things that way. Food is important as well. If you're not getting enough energy, not getting enough vitamins, different things of that nature, you're not going to feel as rested. And when you sleep, you're either going to be hungry, too full, not feel well from what you ate, different things like that. So it's definitely important to think about those two things as being, the first foundation of creating your environment and helping set the mood for basically for what your body's going to feel like within your schedule. So let's say you have the same sleep habits every day. You can set that as your schedule and build around that. It's a great way to start as a base. It's the biggest chunk of hours that you'll use for any one specific thing throughout the day. The next, you have to eat every day, right? There's at least 2 meals that you have to eat every day. Most people should eat at least 3. And so definitely focus on that, building that into your schedule as well. They're nice, easy ones to kind of help plan in. And if a certain time of day works better for you for those different areas, then build those in so that you can build your class schedule or build your study schedule around those things. Me time is definitely a huge one when you're thinking about, what you should work on and how to be productive, kind of tying into that productivity one in the next part, and also tying into the stress relievers as well. The more you set me time to be built into your schedule, the more flexible your schedule actually becomes, because you can have me time that's built into there, which doesn't have a specific, you know, activity plan for it, but is flexible as far as, this is a time where you have built into your schedule something that you just want to do for yourself. When you think about productivity, it kind of ties back into the first slide that we looked at, which was talking about what time of day, you feel more comfortable with your schedule. So, if you feel more productive at the beginning of the day, try to plan your classes or your study times at the beginning of the day. If you feel more productive in the evening, then try to plan your classes for the afternoon or evening, and build your study schedule the same way around that as well. Every person is different where we feel the most comfortable and the most productive throughout the day. So when you are building your schedule, definitely, play into your own strengths that you naturally have as far as when you feel the most comfortable and when you feel the most ready and active to do things. Stress relievers are also a great thing to think about with what you should prioritize when you're building a schedule. So if you are stressed, you're going to study, less or more time and get less out of it. If you are stressed, you're going to be less productive on a test or less productive in taking notes in class. So definitely think about ways that you naturally relieve stress, and that activities that you take advantage of, whether that's going for a walk, going out with friends, eating food, exercising. All of those different things are great ways to relieve stress. And yet, many times we don't plan those into our schedule. And so our schedule ends up hurting us, in the long run, because there's no time to actually, help relax our bodies and get back to, the basis for what we kind of do the most productive work at. Another thing to think about when building your schedule is, what responsibilities do you have outside of class? Do you work, whether that's part-time, full-time? Obviously, that would play a big part into how much time you have dedicated to class, to personal time, to being able to study and different things like that. Do you have a family, whether that's, siblings, parents, children, anyone that you help take care of that relies on you for anything? There are time commitments that we all have with family commitments. And so those are things to consider as well. If you're, planning a schedule and you don't plan in time for your any given semester to deal with the responsibilities that you have, it can be a big burden to have to, try to cram those into any random spots that you may find an hour here or a half hour here that you didn't have something planned, or something that was planned that got canceled, or things like that. Do you have an internship, or do you volunteer? These are, great things that help advance us in our in your majors and in your careers and different things like that. So they're not things that you should look at lightly, but at the same time, they do take up a lot of time. So how do you plan a schedule that incorporates those, but also doesn't hinder you from completing all of the goals and different things you might have for any given semester? The last I have to kind of go over is what works best for you. So, when you think about creating a schedule, oftentimes, when your schedule is created, most students think of, all right, here's where I'm going to plan my classes. And then once my classes are planned, great, I have a schedule. But that's not where it should end. You should think about also, the fact that when you plan that class schedule, you also need a schedule for, whatever you're going to be doing outside of class. So it is to keep track of that schedule on your laptop or on your phone, or a physical planner or calendar. All of those have their pluses and minuses. And I just wanted to hit on a few of those for that. But your laptop's digital, it's easily adjustable. You can, change your calendar or schedule around and move things that way. Your phone's the same way, digital, also adjustable. And most of the time you have your phone always with you. So it's a great way to be able to get reminders, check on your schedule. Friends are like, hey, let's go do this. And you're out working on something with them, whether that's, a project or going out to eat, or just taking a trip around the city, or whatever it might be. You'd have your phone with you. So it's a great way to be able to stay on top of your schedule, whatever you have planned, and, use it that way. Physical planner, obviously, is a little more cumbersome as far as, carrying it around compared to like a phone. However, it doesn't run out of power. It's not a distraction. And that's one of the biggest things that I would encourage you to look at when building this schedule is how to keep distractions at a minimum. So if you have time planned into your schedule for, stress relievers or me time or whatever it may be that's a personal schedule item, it gives you that flexibility to say, all right, I have an hour planned for the study or my, biology class or my chemistry class. And therefore, I don't need to have this distraction right now because I know that in an hour I have that already built in and I can wait that extra hour for that. And that's also one of the benefits of utilizing all of the different, pieces of your own life and building those into your schedule is because when you have that set schedule, it allows you to, utilize the things that you naturally like to do and kind of give those as rewards for yourself when you're doing the things that maybe aren't as fun for you, whether that's studying or going to class or things like that. So definitely feel free to, adjust your schedule to whatever works for you. And so just to kind of recap some of that, when you're building a schedule for the semester, whether that's for your classes or for what you have to do outside of class, take advantage of all of the natural things that are part of your own life and, the responsibilities that you have, the fun things that you like to do, whether that's sports or exercise or going out with friends or video games or movies, whatever it might be, and build those into your schedule. Take advantage of the resources that you have, whether that's, using a laptop or a planner or using your phone electronically that way and, being able to adjust things. So definitely take advantage of those and feel free to check out some of our workshops on how to use a planner and kind of how to build that out more. But definitely think about those things when building your schedule. And any questions that anyone has, please feel free to direct them to either your academic coach or to the case. Your academic coach can be found with your assigned coach in self-service. You can make an appointment with a coach also at mywco.com/coach. And like I said, you can also email the case at mchs.edu. Thanks. Have a great day.